here we are, and no, your eyes are not deceiving you. We are actually playing the T-80 BVM. New tank from Red Skies, and I've been actually enjoying this thing quite decently. It's not very survivable from the side as all Russian tanks, and it's still a Russian MBT. So if you are used to the T-80U, T-80B, this is pretty similar. It does have a little bit of a better shell, and the survivability is a little bit better. But at heart, it's still a Russian MBT, and I will use it as such. I like to rush, flank, or sit a little bit back and use the defensive nature of the turret, because the turret is extremely well armored and basically nothing will go through it when you're hold down, because still your lower plate as well as your driver port are pretty vulnerable. Luckily your breach is pretty small, and most of the times when people bend the breach they won't actually kill any crew members, so you can just back up a little bit and repair like nothing ever happened. The post-ban damage of this thing is not very good however, and I've been noticing that it's worse than the Leopard, the STLVs, the M1A2. Yes, my aim here is pretty bad, because it took me way too many shots to kill this guy, but I want you to pay very close attention to the next guy. Because I'm gonna be shooting another Leopard to the side, and pay very close attention to the loader. Yes, it's not the best shot, but I wanted to kill the driver, as well as the turret ring, as well as the gunner, so he's completely stranded, he can't do anything. But the loader only turned red, and that shell was pretty close, and if that was an Abrams shell, he probably would have died right there. Can't say for sure however, but in my experience the spawning of the shells has not been very good, and I've been hearing a lot of people complain about this, so I thought I would mention it. I also want to mention that my aim isn't very great, especially at longer ranges, so it might be a little bit biased, but the people I talked to, the people that I consulted with, all came to the same conclusion, so I want to bet that it's somewhat right. Meet the Type 90, just shoot him in the engine as well as the turret ring. Looks like his turret was already out, so we shoot the driver and we kill him. And that's quick kill number 4. Look back here to see if there's no one sneaking up on us, because you don't want to get shot on the side. I was already overexposed anyway, but if he missed a shot I could at least retaliate and fire my gun back at him. No need however, and we are just going to, well, push on. And at this point we're already essentially in their spawn, so we're going to meet some stragglers. See a heat signature there, and that was a hold down Leopard. Turns out it's just a turret laying on the battlefield. A little bit embarrassing, but you know, happens to all of us I guess. And now we are just gonna hold the line here. I don't want to push into the spawn too much. Notice that the turret is rotated a little bit, so I try to fit it in between all the crew compartment in the turret as well as the driver, and we one-shot the Leopard as well. A little bit later we rush to this position. We start getting a little bit defensive here. Shoot him, track east the fucking shell. Very great. He doesn't shoot me back however, so that's a little bit lucky. He manages to die. Another Leopard behind him. He's basically held down behind his teammate, so I want to shoot to the upper front plate and kill the driver as well as what's in the turret. He dies to one shot, and we continue on. See a shell coming in. He just shot, so I want to push a little bit, but at this point I waited too long and I don't know exactly what it is, so I'm gonna wait for a second shot. And I want to keep looking at B point, because they start coming one by one out of the B point. Notice that a guy pushing in front of me, so I'm gonna use him as bait essentially to see what's going on here. And the second he gets shot I will know exactly where someone is. Look a little bit to the left and the right. That's a very popular spot, and I don't want to get shot on the side as I push out. I'm just gonna take my time a little bit here, because I'm in a very good position here to secure the B point as well as everyone is trying to cross. Notice there's a little spot there, just shoot a shell into it, because why not? Don't get a hit. Start backing up a little bit in case I get snuck up on from the left. I want to point my hull towards whatever I'm looking at essentially. That guy isn't really a threat, so I'm not really worried about him shooting back at me. He's already getting shot at by someone else, so I'd rather point my hull forward to someone that can shoot me than someone that might potentially do so. No one does so however. I could be a little bit more vigilant, look around a little bit more, but I still make a lot of mistakes in tanks, and tanks are something that I've been trying to pick up, trying to get better at, but it's a long process. I only got about 2010 games I think, like 3 or 4 days in tanks worth, so I'm not the most experienced, but luckily I have some people that are very good at tanks that, well, they are willing to help me, which makes my learning experience a lot more enjoyable. So now I try to pass on some knowledge that I'm gaining from them to you guys, so we know why not. I'm playing a little bit too passive here. I don't really know when to push up, so I'm just waiting, seeing if there's anyone going to cross, because I have a feeling someone else is going to push out, and always when I just want to push out, just after I do so I mostly drive into someone. So whenever I have the urge to push, I mostly wait another 10 to 15 seconds and then do so. And there we go. We finally leave our breeding nest and we go out. Keep looking around, keep making sure that we are not getting shot on this side. There's a T-72 in front of us, so that probably means that there's not much going on here. And there he is. I push out and then the guy comes out. And again, my timing is horrible. Luckily this time it didn't get the better of me. Abrams down. We shoot over him. Kill his barrel and his breech. He smokes up. I'm gonna shoot one more shell into it and then I'm just going to continue on. Luckily he takes a shell right in the turret. And that's another Leopard down. Leopard 2 Pia. He gets shot by something. I don't know what yet. It's an Ariete, but I'm not sure where he is. So I'm just gonna be looking around. I'm gonna expect him to be from the front, but he can't see me yet. So I'd rather look at positions that can see me before I start looking where I think he is. Because if he is somewhere where I didn't think he was, I just have my side exposed. But at this point I probably would have died already anyway. Because Ariete is gonna go through the side of this thing like nothing else. See a HTVL, not a very hard tank to kill. At least not from the side with a shell like this. If you're in an AA and you're shooting from the front, the 30 mil will basically, or 30 mil, I'm instantly assuming the Tunguska because that's the only AA that I play, or the Google Blitz. But something like a lower caliber will easily bounce off the front plate. I hear a tank coming in. Not sure where he is yet, but he's making a lot of noise. So before he starts getting very close, I'm just going to sit here, turn my engine off. I see him now. And I'm going to expect him to simply drive in front of my gun. Because that's what most people do. I could have potentially backed up a little bit, set a little bit more in cover. There we go, he's dead. But doing so, I would expose myself to the Ariete that's around the corner here that might potentially push up. And that's something I don't want to happen. Nothing happened other than that. I helped someone repair an MG, the helicopter that I set on fire. But other than that, very clean game. And again, I'm not going to bore you with that. I've already bored you with enough camping. I'm tinkering with my settings a little bit, with my graphic settings, because I'm trying to figure out what works for me. I'm trying to learn. So here and there I will actually just lower the quality a little bit to see what I'm missing. Call it abusing, but I'm trying to learn this game still. And I think if I see the most amount of things that I can, then sometimes I can pick up on some extra things. Unfortunately, this game I got 9 kills. Well, fortunately, but unfortunately for you, my graphic settings were a little bit low at this point. They weren't completely ultra low quality, but I turned some things off to have a little bit more visibility, so I can very clearly see what I'm missing out on. And again, I'm taking it very slow this game. This time I didn't really rush out, but this map is absolutely horrible in my opinion. And I want to stay in the city a little bit, or at least around it. It provides some cover, and it makes it unpredictable for them where I am, because they can't see me across the map. Whereas if I'm in the open, they can see me, they can plan accordingly, and they can flank around me. And I don't want that to happen. I see someone else, back up a little bit, first spawn automatic. Bless you, sir, we need more people like you. Second shell, load the HE, rage find twice, because I have the time to do so. Hit him on the breach, kill everything in the turret, and that's the automatic down. Don't forget to switch back to the APD-SFS. Shoot a little bit too high. This little bit of cover is something I like to use. And if I hire the backside of my tank, they can't actually kill anything other than my engine. So sure, I might be stranded, but they are not going through my turret unless I shoot the top of it. And my engine is something I can repair, and I can extinguish the fire twice and I can still return fire, which is exactly what I want. I'd rather do that than drive up the slope, because I don't have the depression, so I have to expose my entire tank. I have to drive over the railroad and then come back down, and in that time they have about 3 to 4 seconds to shoot me, and I don't really enjoy that. Range find, it says 3 kilometers, but I'm not really trusting that, so I reset it again and we back up a little bit. I'm just waiting for someone to pass here, because a lot of people have been passing, so I'm expecting a little bit more. Just looking around. We start pushing up now. The tank is still very, very mobile, and the reverse on this thing isn't as bad as the other tanks. It's still a Russian MBT. It's not a Leclerc that goes 3 million kilometers a second backwards. It's a Russian MBT. So your max reverse is like 10 kph. It's not the best. It's doable. It's definitely better than 4. But if you're taking shots and they know how to aim at your lower front plate or your driver sport, you're not going to be reversing quick enough. I was playing the automatic the other day, and I killed 4 of these Russian MBTs in about 20 seconds. Well, that's a bit of an overstatement. In like a minute. Because I just shot the weak spots, and these things really do not like taking a shot. Sit in the smoke, power of editing, very quick repair. Turn the engine off so they don't hear me. Guy smokes right in my face, very lucky. I just managed to catch a glimpse of him. Right through the front plate, kills his entire tank. And that's the beauty of a non-hull down Leopard. because that turret is absolutely horrible to go through. And luckily it doesn't have the same front plate as the SRV 122. So you can actually shoot the middle of the tank and it will just go straight through and kill all the crew inside of it. And an SRV 122, it has to be hulled down considerably less, and if he's not hulled down you have to shoot for the ammo. And I think shooting the middle of the tank is a lot easier than shooting for the ammo. But we all can agree probably that the SRV 122's armor is something else. It's built different, as we say. Wait a little bit, because the B point is still contested. Not sure if there's anyone on it, so I waited a little bit to see if there's anyone extending, if there's anyone poking through it thinking they can advance. Just to be sure there's no one on it. Now we drive on the cap, we can see that we're capping, so there's definitely no one on here. So I'm going to be safe here a little bit. I want to replenish the crew. And again, turn the engine off so they don't know where I am. Turn it back on just before my turret went down. And we push out. Keep looking around with thermals as well as the third person, because the third person has that little bird-eyed view. It's like a little bit above your tank, so you have a little bit more awareness around you. But the thermals are of course invaluable, especially for someone like me who's absolutely legally blind when it comes to tanks. But again, luckily the graphic settings aren't too high this match, so I actually don't suffer from it as much as I usually do. So we push to the side, get a little bit of a covered position to start pushing up, because I don't want to drive in the open and then simply drive in something like a Leopard who then shoots you right in your gunner. Talking about that, he shot me right in the gunner. And luckily they added this amazing system called the Hunter-Killer system, so you can shoot people without your gunner up. Horseshit mechanic in my opinion, but it sure saved me in this instance. And now I want to reposition. I just got marked on the map and there is someone in the area, because I see that the people in my spawn are dying. So I expect someone to be in the area. I'm not sure at this point. They could be shooting across the map, but looking at the sidelines, they have to be across this ridge. So we are just going to poke back out, go back to where we came from and look around a little bit. Notice a Leopard, that's probably the guy that has been killing everyone. Shoot him directly in the side, kill one of his tracks. Look at that amazing spawning, did nothing but kill the track. He's right there. Man, absolutely horrible shot. I'd feel embarrassed even if that wasn't me. So, we black his barrel, we push on out, and we look to the left extremely late, because we are so busy trying to get the kill that we forget to look on the left. Don't forget to stay aware, people. Just because there wasn't someone there this time doesn't mean there won't be someone there next time. We push on out, we go park right next to the Leopard. Next time I will probably just park directly behind this guy, shoot him to the engine. Well, shot him in the side, a little bit of a rage shake, and we shoot him again. And there he goes, and that's 5 kills. Push back into the cap. No real reason here, I just want to cross it, I want to get to the other side. He might have just pinged me on the map and I don't want that to happen. So we push to the middle of the cap and use this beautiful church that's completely renovated to sit here and just kind of wait for people. Nice barrel, thank you. And now I start noticing there's a guy in front of me. I hear him, I don't know exactly where he is just yet. Just waiting to see a silhouette, so I pan my camera up a little bit. I ping him on the map for my backup that's coming in. But I'm just kind of waiting it out, seeing what the Leopard does, or at this point I don't know what it is yet. Notice that he's side on, so we start pushing out. He doesn't really pay attention to me, so I'm just gonna go into my gunner view, get these thermals out, shoot him directly underneath the turret. And that's another Leopard down. We keep on pushing. If I know there's someone else right here, he just shot. Use that sick Tokyo drift and get back into cover. And with this close range, with this amount of cover around, you can turn your engine off here and there. Play it slow and see if you can hear anyone, and if people push into you, you get a very easy shot on their side, which probably will end that day. And that's as long as you don't get screwed over by volumetric shells or some horrible spalling or something else that Gaijin really likes to do. Not sure how he didn't see me, but you know, I'm not going to complain. A kill is a kill and I didn't die. And I make mistakes, yes, we all do. At least don't be afraid of admitting it. We push on out, but at this point it's very late in the game, there's not many people around anymore, so I get a little bit more free, I get a little bit more worried that I get shot on this side. I can see him with my third person camera, I'm not really worried about pushing out, because well, this turret is ridiculous and I'm completely held down. Kill his driver and his loader, so he's not going to be doing anything anymore. He smokes up extremely late and we just go right through the turret neck, which just kills him outright. Another guy pushing in. Pan the front, kill his entire crew department. But the driver didn't die. But it's a Leopard 2A4 and he doesn't really have a chance of panning me as long as he doesn't hit my weak spot at all. And that's gonna be game. That's 9 kills, and now we're just going to wait for the tickets to bleed. And we just push into the cap, or into the spawn I should say. I rushed into the cap with an HE shell loaded because I was expecting an AA. Shoot the HE shell into the ground because I don't want to alert him of my position. Reload the APDS. APDS FS, I'm sorry. Shoot him directly in the turret neck, don't actually kill the tank. Now we get an assist, and that's gonna be game. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you all very soon again with an F5E carry.